Hi guys, it's Angie with Fun Endeavors Tie-Dye Lab. Today I'm going to make a long sleeve thermal Henley style shirt. I've prepped the shirt like normal and I have the shirt turned inside out. For this shirt I want to do a geode type design or geode style design, but I don't want the geode to have a center in it. So to start that design, I'm going to grab the bottom corner of the shirt and lift it up off of the table. I'm going to shake it out just a little bit so that the shirt falls naturally, and then I'm going to begin tying down at the corner. I'm using sinew to tie this design. I'm going to do like a couple of wraps of sinew and then pull it really tight. Then I'm skipping a small space and going to put another sinew line. I'm going to repeat this process all the way down the shirt. And I want to vary the distance in between the sinew lines, just to kind of make it a little bit more natural or uneven. I'm also going to periodically lift the shirt up off of the table and give it a little bit of a shake, because I want it to fall naturally. So let me tell you a little bit about this shirt, because I know that's one of the questions I'm going to get asked. This is a George brand shirt, which I purchased at Walmart in the men's section. And it's a Henley shirt, but it's made out of that thermal material, so it has a little bit of a texture to it, kind of the waffle design. And it's not 100% cotton. This shirt is only 60% cotton and 40% polyester. So I already know going in that this shirt is not going to be quite as bright and vivid since it's not 100% cotton. But that's okay. I mean, this is a long sleeve shirt, so it's more of like a fall and winter design, and I think a more muted color pattern will look good on this shirt. Okay, so I'm getting into the sleeve area right now, and to tie the sleeves, I'm just gonna do them the way that I've done the rest of this shirt. I don't want to tie them separately or individually. I want them to just kind of flow into the rest of the shirt. So as I'm lifting the shirt up off of the table and giving it a shake, I'm just gonna let the sleeves fall where they want to and tie them that way. As you can tell, there's gonna be one sleeve that's hanging a lot lower than the rest of the shirt. Okay, so I have the entire shirt tied except for this one sleeve that's hanging longer than everything else. I'm going to go ahead and just tie it the way I tied the rest of the shirt. If you wanted to, you could kind of fold it up and over itself a couple of times. That would make tying it maybe just a little bit easier. But I decided I wanted to just go ahead and tie it the way I did the rest of the shirt. It's just a personal preference. You can do whatever you'd like to do. Once I have the shirt completely tied, I'm going to set it aside for a couple of days and let it dry out. I get asked the question a lot, why do I prefer to dye shirts like this when they're dry? And the simple answer for that is I get better color saturation when the shirt is allowed to dry out. If the shirt has too much soda ash solution remaining in it, it doesn't want to soak up the dye quite as well. So I let folds like this one that are really thick dry out completely. That way I get better color saturation into the middle of the fold. Since the shirt started out as a gray shirt, I thought it would look really cool to use like blue, gray, and some black on the shirt. I'm going to ice dye the shirt and I'm going to dye it down in the muck. So I just coiled the shirt until it would fit down inside of this container. Then for this shirt, I'm going to ice dye the shirt, but I'm going to place the dye over the top of the ice. So I'm going to go ahead and start by adding a layer of ice on top of the shirt. And I want to add plenty of ice so that when the ice melts, the shirt is almost totally down inside of the muck. Muck is just a term that refers to the runoff from all of the melting ice and the dye. So you can apply the dye several different ways to the top of this ice. You can make a pattern or a design with it. You can just randomly sprinkle it on. You can do whatever you'd like to do. For this shirt, I've decided I'm going to apply the dye in stripes. The first color I'm using is Royal Blue from Grateful Dyes. I'm going to kind of alternate between blues and grays. So the next color I'm going to use is Gunmetal Gray from Dharma Trading Company. Lapis from Pro Chemical and Dye. I'm sorry, the strange floating thing that you see across the camera screen, I think is a gnat. A couple of times a year, the gnats get really bad where I live, and fall is one of those times. So my dye space doesn't have any food or anything like that in it, but I still end up with gnats out here sometimes. So I was going to use a color called Crappy Scrappy from Grateful Dyes, but when I opened it up, I thought that the dye had quite a bit of a green cast to it. So I changed my mind and instead I decided to use black TDB from Custom Colors. I'm going back in with a little bit more of the deep ocean. Followed by Gunmetal Gray. The next color is Royal Blue. I'm using stainless steel spoons to apply the dye with. I have a link down below in the description for this video for where I purchased these. But they're stainless steel lab spoons, and I've found that the dye doesn't stick to these quite as badly as it does like just using disposable plastic spoons, which is what I used to use before. I'm using one spoon for the blue and one spoon for the gray, and then I wipe them off on a paper towel in between. I added another stripe of the black, followed by a little bit more of the deep ocean. Then I'm going to add just a little bit of extra soda ash over the top of the ice. I've already soaked the shirt in soda ash, but I'm adding quite a bit of ice and I want to make sure I don't rinse all the soda ash out of my shirt. Now I'm going to take the container and I'm going to put it someplace out of the way where I won't disturb it at all. And I'm going to leave it for at least 24 hours after all the ice melts. So to rinse the shirt, I'm going to take it to my utility sink and I'm going to start rinsing it in cold water. The purpose of rinsing in cold water is to get out any of the soda ash that's still left in the shirt. So after rinsing in cold for a while, I went ahead and untied the shirt. Then I rinsed the shirt just a little bit longer in cold water before warming the water up to hot. And I continued rinsing in hot water to rinse out any of the excess dye that didn't bond with the fabric. Since the colors were so dark in this shirt and there's still quite a bit of dye left in the shirt, instead of just continuing to rinse for a long time, I added some hot water to my utility sink, put a little bit of Blue Dawn dish detergent into the water, and I just allowed the shirt to soak. What the soaking process does is it helps flush out some of that excess dye without just continuing to rinse nonstop. So after the water cooled off, I went ahead and changed it out a couple of more times and continued rinsing until it was almost clear. Then I put the shirt, along with a little bit of Dharma's textile detergent, into the washing machine and washed it using a hot water cycle. And then after the shirt was washed and dried, this is what it looks like. Okay, so what do you guys think? I really like the way this shirt turned out. I mean, you can't really tell that it started out as a gray shirt. And of course, it's not as dark as if I would have used a white shirt for this. That was 100% cotton. So the colors are a little bit more muted, but I was expecting that. That's one of the reasons why I use darker colors, is because I was kind of trying to compensate for the fact that I knew they wouldn't be as dark and as vivid as if I would have used a 100% cotton shirt. I also took into account the fact that the colors were going to go over the top of gray. So I tried to pick and choose colors that would blend well with gray and not fight with that gray undertone. I was a little bit surprised by the amount of green that was in the shirt. I think the green is one of the color splits from the gunmetal gray and the black TDB. I think both of those colors are where that green comes from. It works with the rest of this shirt though. I also like the addition of the deep ocean into the shirt. I think that adds just a little bit of that aqua pop, and I like that. I like that variation in the shirt. So overall, I really like the shirt. When you look at it up close, it does kind of have a fuzzy look to it, but that's from the 40% polyester in the shirt. The polyester fibers don't dye, and so sometimes they kind of have a fuzzy look when they're up against the cotton fibers. But because this is a thermal, it also has a texture, and so I do like that texture added into the shirt. So drop me a comment down below and let me know what you think about the shirt. And I sure would appreciate it if you would like my video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a great day.